Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus Pimp Sunkiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, certainly for a worldly reading. And today, for this video, we are focused on the recent port strike that took place and seemed to have quickly been nipped in the bud. So, what I decided to ask, I received this question as a suggestion from one of my friends slash clients slash followers. And so I decided to formulate the question the way I felt would be best to get the best answers. Okay, so yes, the question that I formulated based on what she suggested is, what are the results, short-term and long-term, to come from this recent port strike and the resolutions that were put into play? Okay, and I ain't gonna waste no more time. Gonna get right into the specificities of the answers by way of these cards. And first things first, we have the Ten of Pentacles there, which is signifying good news. It's also affirming and confirming that raises in compensation are indeed in the works. And being the fact that this is the Ten of Pentacles, it leads me to discern that those financial raises are likely to start to pour over into other people's finances as well, in a good way, such as this is just a start, and sooner and or later this trend is going to pick up in other people's professions, careers, and jobs, and all that. Now, I'm gonna stick a pin in that because there's some extra messages coming through from that card that I sense will actually be like further elaborated upon in other cards. So yeah, until then, we're gonna hop on over to the King of Cups, which is giving satisfaction. I am literally hearing satisfaction, and this is also letting me know that this particular situation is much deeper than the physical. It's much deeper than this realm, okay? This situation is also esoteric and very spiritual, whereas the people who set the strike into motion, the employees who were setting the strike into motion concerning the ports and all that, had been, be it mindfully or mindlessly, they may not have even realized how deep and spiritual this was, but one way or another, they answered the calling of Mami Wata. They answered the calling of water deities and the element of the water in itself as it concerns both the physical and the spiritual. So there are water deities that needed this to go a specific way to heal some sort of karma. So in simple terms, the gods are pleased, and that is also why this situation is one that is fruitful and will multiply in a multitude of different ways. Because I ain't even gonna hold you, y'all. The water has been mad. The water has been mad and very dissatisfied with the way that people have been peopling, okay? Big and small, short and tall, everything, everywhere, all at once. So again, simply stated, the port workers going on strike and the people that it concerned that were in power or that are in power, that signed off on it and said, okay, we're going to go ahead and make it do what it do for you the way you deserve. All of that was divine call to action and divinely designed. And it was a test that everybody involved, for the most part, successfully passed. And it seems as though the divine realm is also satisfied in the sense of where this called a lot of other people in the world, in the universe, in the US, but as a bigger collective as well, it called more people's attention to the need to depend on each other. Okay, so balancing the independence and dependence. Okay, we need both. It's time and a place for everything. So it's saying that a good harmonization took place where the multitude of people and specific people who were being called to action answered the call and took in the lesson of not being afraid to ask for help, not being afraid to offer and give help, and also the value of independence, doing for self, growing your own crops, learning how to make certain things and use and acquire certain resources for yourself so that you are not sent into a panic if and whenever something of the sort happens. So the next card that we get into is the Six of Cups, and this is a follow-up from the messages of the Ten of Pentacles, elaborating from the point where I said this is a situation that is fruitful and will multiply, and the trend will start to pour over into other businesses and industries and other people's cups, okay? Pun intended. And a part of that coming into play is other people who are employees, as well as other people who are in positions of power, they have witnessed this situation and the benefits of it and the nobility of it, the nobleness or whatever. They're noticing that and they're like, okay, if they can do it, we can do it. And if it's brought these good things for them and it's falling on our doorstep, then we can do the same thing and send out this same great domino effect type shit. That being said, we often feel like and or know that a lot of people in power do the most to oppress everybody that is up under them, right? But I'm picking up, which is also why people in power following a trend also came up, is because there are certain people that are in power where it's this thing where, like, all of the people in power are a team and they have to vote on stuff. And there are certain people in executive positions and managerial boss positions and all of that that have really been wanting to do better financial practices when it comes to the financial mutual benefit of business, bosses, and employees. Everybody being able to eat and everybody being able to take a load off and not have to work themselves to the bone just to get $1 type shit. Those people, however, have been outvoted for a while and or constantly fed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The people are still feeding into this. They're still following the system as it is. So what's the point in changing it? And it's also bringing up the music industry as well, where there are certain people in the music industry that want to create and put out better qualities of music and that have more complex and deeper subject matters and things of that nature, less toxic subject matters and vibes and things in the music. But those people keep getting combated with that music doesn't sell, that music doesn't sell. So yeah, there are people in positions of power that want to start applying more healthy and mindful and more productive and constructive products and practices in their businesses and industries and all that. But again, they just keep being met with, well, that doesn't sell, that doesn't sell. They're already used to this. They're not going to want to change, da, 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 da. And so the more, quote unquote, smaller named people are taking these brave actions, it will domino effect from the ground up, if you will, into more people getting more courage to make positive changes. So a recognizing of the need to balance out the frequencies of quantity and quality. There is strength in numbers. However, don't forget to make sure that each individual of the quantity is also of quality. Because if you got a bunch of trash built up in a collective, what is it, class? It's still trash. And it's going in the garbage. And then it's going in the dumpster. And it's taken to the dump. To be wasted, honey. And that's not the work. That's not the goal. Now, that gets us into the Knight of Wands and the Moon card. So the Knight of Wands is here where, again, there's an energy that's picking up of courage, warrior spirit. Again, a knight can also be considered a warrior. People ready to fight. Specifically fight for what they believe in. A time and a place for war. Now, don't fret. This does not necessarily mean like World War III or anything like that, or anything like explosive like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It doesn't have to be all of that. Especially being the fact that the Knight of Wands is here right side up. So this comes with people recognizing their options and recognizing also that everything doesn't have to be handled with violence and force. People actually wanting and going about things a different route, using their voices amongst taking non-combative action through paperwork and documentation, recording things, taking pictures, keeping receipts, that educating themselves more on the laws and economics and the history of things and how things work. So yeah, as people educating themselves on the language of the law and gaining better financial literacy and using that jargon and all of that education to actually benefit, because we are taught, and I'm hearing this, we are taught that the law is against us, and in certain ways it is, but I'm hearing that it's able to be so against us because we are ignorant of the language of the law. So for instance, you can know that it's against the law to steal, but when you actually educate yourself on how laws are written, there are a multitude of different levels and a multitude of different ways that one law can be written using language that you may not be familiar with or actually know like specifically what it means. And this is how a lot of people get caught up with drummed up charges on them as well when it comes to legal situations, because certain lawyers that are against you will take these different little claws, these different little bullets, and just throw all of them at you and see which one sticks. one way that they keep from doing a whole lot of work. Because again, yes, you might have stole, but there are certain languages of this law that may not apply to you, but all of them have been thrown at you. And if they can manipulate that language well enough, they can get you caught up on all of them. So that's just a channeled example that came through. And again, the more, those said people that are being called to their action, educate themselves, it'll make more sense to you how that applies specifically to you. Okay? Okay. Now, all at once, being the fact that the Night of Wands is here accompanied by the moon, there may be some people that have knee-jerk reactions and respond ragefully, like reach breaking points and act a fucking fool. So in simple terms, we might start to see more and more reports of people setting their jobs on fire, of, I don't want to say this, but potential mass shootings, people just attacking their bosses, or setting their bosses up, things of that nature. We might start to see more reports on that. Light, love, and healing, protection, and providing for to everyone. Okay, stay prayed up round here. But yeah, all of that is likely to come into play to bring things to people's attentions even more. It is not to say that type of thing is okay, or that's how things should be handled. It's just meant to be examples to perk people's ears and intuitions and sense of urgency about certain things up more. So definitely be mindful of not getting consumed by fear, and to grasp hold to inspiration more if and when these things start to come into play and start to be broadcasted. The moon is also here, whereas, like I said, the sense of inspiration will start to increase the more people start taking action and coming together to fight for themselves and what they believe in. So with that, there will likely be people in power who come together to fearmonger and to take direct blows at people's sense of hope, and to snatch the faith out of all that inspiration that is picking up. So be very discerning of fear-mongering tactics in the media, certain things that end up happening to people, because I'm kind of seeing and channeling some business, could be a fast food place, a popular fast food place, and or a big grocery store corporation business company, a very common grocery store, and the employees protesting, striking, or something of the sort, and potentially the whole squad getting fired and replaced super quick, and or the people in power, they're just doing something very cruel to completely shut down and dismiss those people who are taking a stand. And a part of that, and I'm hearing somebody probably got paid by a bigwig somewhere to do such a thing so harshly. I'm hearing to go viral on some shit, to send a message to the madness of this is what happens when you stand up for yourself. So Spirit is saying, do not get caught up in that if and when that happens. Do your damnedest to continue to grasp hold to faith, because that is just a distraction. That is just, in simple terms, the devil trying to throw us off of our path, and they will be handled accordingly by Spirit. You just keep on swimming through your goal, okay? And that is further emphasized by the Judgment card, specifically the part of the message that concerns people continuing to commit to wrongdoings, doings, and oppressing people that they feel like are weaker and or beneath them. Those people will be divinely handled. So again, don't fret. I'm hearing that the scales will indeed be balanced, and really, again, grasp hold to courage, stand in your truth, and truly fight for what you believe in. This is tapping into the collective's solar plexus. So anybody that's resonating with these messages, do more work on your solar plexus to help yourself realize your worth, because a lot of what is stifling the collective is the sense of self-worth. The port workers strike worked well for them, mostly because they realized to a T and stood in their truth that they were worth more than what they were being paid. And they also had the receipts to prove it. And I'm hearing that there were also people just in like social media and, common local communities and whatnot that were also on their side and showing their support in a multitude of different ways, that haven't even been talked about in the media. But that's something that really helped to push their point and help the whole thing work in their favor. So all of that said, it segues perfectly to the Eight of Swords, whereas a lot of people have been mentally imprisoning themselves to insecurities, to a low sense of self-worth, to toxic habits of just feeling like you just have to take whatever somebody puts on your plate instead of being proactive and fixing your own plate and choosing for yourself what you are going to eat. And if you're going to save some for later or not, you know? So as the morality of self-worth builds mindlessly and mindfully, it's going to help the collective of, quote unquote, regular citizens, if you will, which will domino effect, like I said, up into other people of power who are on the same page as regular citizens, quote unquote. It's going to help everybody free themselves mentally and therefore understand better the actions that they need to take in order to free themselves in the physical and in a specific financial aspect. Then we have the Hierophant, which is tapping directly on certain main people. I'm also picking up that this could be a president or people who are presidents, but I'm really picking up a strong sense of the next president being very proactive and open to financially satisfying the collective, being heavily focused on equity and making sure people are paid with their worth, that prices of things are reasonable, and that better quality is being put into the production of things and the execution and the construct of systems. Woo child. So yeah, it's giving better people will be coming into power, and certain people who may already have certain positions of power, those that truly deserve to be at the forefront and have what it takes to do what is right, those people are about to move up. And it's been so much doubt leading up to these points, but it's like the divine realm and us as a collective of people are about to show the fuck out in all the right ways, like talking about, to where we shut all them doubts down type shit. So yeah, it's giving renaissance. And with all that being said, y'all, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I'm thoroughly appreciative of the exchange of vibes. And if you feel synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotes for the next time. And be sure, don't be shy. Go ahead and reply in that good old comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways like love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.